Somebody want me to say them on the Astro. Somebody want me to say. There's a lot of sex topics tonight, I guess. I can tell you this. When I was young, I realized something was wrong. I was being stalked or something. And when I seen all them attacks on the females that I was getting with, even if I went out of town, it was like somebody would follow me. And I couldn't reach that girl again, whether I had any contact with her or not. So after a while of realizing this, I had to change my perspective. I had to change the way I looked at things. It got to the point where the guys the women were leaving me for, I had to show them men how to become men. Them boys how to become men. And how to properly take care of themselves. Because I was always a leader in the street. And it got to the point where the street was so bad, everybody was just laying around. Wasn't nothing getting done. And back then, we had to take out our own slop and all that. And, you know, you got food, you know, you got people coming around now and do the trash. Back in the days, it wasn't like that. So we had to do it. And these men and women would just lay around with each other. And they would get so lazy. Unbelievable lazy. So I knew it wasn't something for me to fuss about. I knew it was irrelevant because it was just too many people doing the same thing. Way too many people. Even if I took myself out of the equation, it was still just way too many people. So I had to train these men how to be men. And shit, normally when they become men, they lead the woman. Then the woman would come around later and say, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. And that right there got on my nerves. So somehow I got a way where I had figured out a way where they stopped doing that. And then after a while, they just wound up still in bad shape or something. Some went off and did better with their life. But most of them wound up on drugs, stayed on drugs, took as many people down with them. It was just a disaster. It was a total disaster. And it was almost like they died happily on drugs. I mean, I know that was a lie because I'm living in these streets where I see the truth, but to the outside world, they were just next bed, next head. You know, just a different person. You know. Just, you know, if I could see the apartment, it was just, I seen people catch AIDS just from sitting right here. I just watch them go after one person after the next, and finally they'll get somebody with full-blown AIDS going on. There ain't nothing you can say about it. And then they wind up sick. Then they wind up doing more drugs. So it ain't much I can really say about it, y'all. It's important, obviously. They need the oil. Ain't nobody really doing nothing about it. It's growing. What you gonna say about it? It gets supported. It get put on a pedestal. It can't grow food. It can't create jobs. But it's always being supported. It's always getting put on a pedestal. What can you do about something like that? I had to find peace in myself. Because, like I said, I don't like sharing DNA to that degree. I just found out how to love myself. And that shit brought me peace and energy. Whether it's just as good as oil, hell, I wouldn't even know. That's one thing that hurts me when it comes down to the spiritual. I can't tell that at all. That hurt. Out of everything I go through when it comes to the spiritual and the physical, it's like no matter how much work I put in, it almost don't add up to the oil that's needed. So that's a disappointment. You know, and being attacked to the degree that I've been getting attacked, they wasn't hardly ever getting no oil out of me. But like I said, I felt more sorry for the women. They were tearing them women up, boy. And like I said, they'll throw them back. By that time, ain't nothing you can do with them girls. Ain't nothing you can do with them. It's even, I done tried healing them for themselves. And they heal, but it ain't properly right like it should be. They just turn into mushrooms. Same for the men. They just same thing, bro. Turn into mushrooms. Um, it's just a fungus, basically. But anyway, I had to show these men on the street because it got bad when you in the slum. Like I said back then, it was a slum. One thing you don't want is for everybody to get on a level where it's a dog eat dog world, and it's just every man for itself. Oh my God, you gotta look over your shoulder. You gotta stay looking over your shoulder. It don't matter who you are. It got to the point where, like in the jungle, boy, a lion to come and take a lioness, however they say, they'll come and take her away just for beating up the male. And that's how it got, bro. It just come in your yard, demand your woman, just like in Sodom and Gomorrah. Demand your girl. You had a fight, and sometimes she didn't want you to fight for her. She'll fight you. You know, it just all depends. You know. Sometimes she'll fight for you, fight with you, but either way it goes, unnecessary. It's like they demanding your woman. They done tore their women up, and everything over there look like it done been tore up. But if you bring a good slab of meat over here, they ready, and that slab of meat don't mind. I'm telling you, I done told this before. There been women, me and my boy were hanging together, and they knew these people had the pack, and they was like, I don't care. And they went over there and caught the pack, and now they looking crazy as hell, bro. Miserable, looking miserable. But it's like they cool with me. And it got to the point in the slum, and I really don't want to see the whole world go like this. But what happened is the solution in the slum got to the point where it was okay to get STD. It was okay to have the pack. It was okay because you get all these benefits for that shit. And it was like people were just doing it just to get benefit. It got to the point where people were doing it because they wanted a particular level. Then it got to the point where people were doing it because they wanted benefit. It just got messy, bro. It got to the point where you couldn't even really touch nobody. It was just like that virus we had where everybody had to wear a mask. It done got that bad out here. But hell, well, we wasn't wearing masks, but I knew it. I could tell. But hell, everybody would catch it then. At one time, like hepatitis and stuff got real bad, and people would just breathe on you. It got real bad, and you're like, you couldn't even really come outside here without, you couldn't smoke no cigarette with nobody. You know, back then, everybody was sharing cigarettes, sharing blunts, alcohol. You wind up walking in the house sick, about dead, coughing. You'll die. Some people die. Die from, they were older and body couldn't take it. You know, get all kind of stuff. Because you can't just go around and do all that with your body and expect no consequences. And the only people I done seen get away with that sometimes is angels. But they ain't getting away with it. They turning into gloves, and then the punishment for them is much greater on the other side. So they ain't getting away with it. Nobody get away with it. But it's definitely promoted somehow, you know. And I dread the whole world getting like that, but it ain't far from it. These same disastrous transactions that we seem to be okay in, this is exactly how it started in the hood. And then before you know it, the hood winded up just like it is today, empty. Ain't nobody in it. Everybody's sick. And the first signs of it, the first signs is the sign that everybody need to catch it, is when everybody find themselves wanting to lay in somebody's bed. After you start wanting to lay in beds, you realize you start laying in the bed more too often, even in your own bed. And next thing you know, you ain't even getting up. I told y'all it was somebody that had to down there get a forklift to get the woman out the damn bed. She done laid in the bed so long. And you know, she was just laying in the bed. If a man wanted to deal with her, he had to just go to the bed. She was just stuck in the damn bed. It ain't funny, man. I think I laughed when I was evil then, though. You know, and you could get shot in front of me. And it didn't bother me too bad. It didn't bother me like it should have. But so I don't know what's going on out there. I'm glad I ain't part of it though. I mean, it's frustrating. That's why I tell my grandparents. They be trying to motivate me to do stuff. I don't want to do nothing. I don't like doing nothing. I always told them, you should have gave me weed, because you know I ain't got no woman. You should have given me something. I ain't got nothing else to do. But it's on them what they want to do, though. But if they want me to be solid like this, it's going to go more towards the lecture, bro. And drawing. I really ain't in the mood for no music right now. It'll probably come around in a few more months. It's coming around now slowly, but I ain't feeling it, though. Too many hits, man. I done took too many hits. It ain't got nothing to do with being alone. It's got to do with all these constant hits back to back since I was born and raised. And now that I know that I've been purposely getting hit, it's disappointing all the way around. It was like, you can't blame God, you can't blame nobody else. And what the fuck do? You just sit there and just wallow in it? You ain't finna make no music about it, because then that's depressing music. So, I know they want me to do music, though. I want to do music. I just ain't feeling it. If I had a blunt, I'd feel it. They keep contaminating everything. They doing everything to keep me miserable. I don't see how these people still alive. If they would have never started contaminating the weed, I could still smoke weed. I would still be able to smoke weed. But now that I done elevated to another level, I don't even think that's required anymore. See how that messed me up? That messed me up. That threw me in the trash can. But I ain't feeling this shit. I keep telling folks, you can't keep torturing someone. It don't matter who they is. It could be Jesus Christ himself. You can't keep torturing somebody, hitting somebody, expecting them to show you the joy and everything. Jesus taught you everything. He showed you the study and everything. I don't think sweat and blood was a sign of being happy and joyful. And most of the time when Jesus was praying, he was sweating blood. So that's that. I guess everybody trying to get me to do music. I don't want to do no music right now. I want to draw. I'm getting somewhere on my drawing. I want to tell y'all about yourself with these lectures right here. And I feel real good after I tell y'all about yourself with these lectures. I ain't really feeling no music. I love music. Ain't nothing about it. Ain't nothing that's going to take the place of music outside of God. That's the second best thing that I love outside of God. But I just ain't feeling it. And that's that. Besides, you just stealing it anyway and redoing it. And giving everybody else the money for it. I don't feel like going through it. That's another thing. That's a headache. Oh, that's a headache. I got to swallow that. That's rough, man. That's a lot to take on, bro. You ask somebody to take on too much. I ain't got nothing to transmute the energy to. I'm already at the point where I can't even transmute energy. I got to rearrange energy through different creativity that I have. You know, which is difficult because I'm not. You normally supposed to transmute energy to something that you normally don't do, but I done did everything. Basically what I'm trying to say. So it's just back and forth from here, back and forth, back and forth. It's boring. At this point, it's boring. I done maxed out outside of what I'm doing now, meditating and drawing. I need to start back reading though. But so far the sex thing, y'all, I can't even help y'all with that. It shouldn't be a problem. At least you got a lover. At least you got a lover you can go to and talk to. At least you got somebody you can call on the phone. And why you abusing it and why you forsaking it, hell, it's beyond me. I don't know what the hell y'all got going on out there. I really don't. And the way y'all tearing each other apart in that department, if I was having sex, I would love to have good sex. I don't know what y'all gonna do. Figure it out though.